Oh, Megamind, what have they done to you? I was one of the very few people that actually watched Megamind in theaters, and honestly, watching in theaters was worth it. I really love the story, the characters are more memorable, the animation is top notch, and how is it that this film grows so low than Shrek? We deserve a sequel, but this is not what we wanted. We wanted a proper sequel from DreamWorks. Well, a proper Megamind sequel. But this is just poor. This is just cheap and pathetic. Like the other villains. When did Megamind has other villains? I thought it was just Megamind and Metro Man. Like seriously, what is up with that? And the animation looks so cheap, mostly because it's rushed. However, there's one thing I don't really understand. How is it that this is not made by DreamWorks, but rather made by some other company? In fact, why don't we look some other DreamWorks sequels to have an idea about what I'm talking about? Well, I don't know what I'm talking about, but hear me out. See this graph right here? This graph indicates how these DreamWorks movies compare to Shrek. You see, Shrek is number one is one of those most popular movies that made a lot of money. If these movies can't surpass it, then no sequel. However, I would say that's utter bull crap if you ask me. But first, let's just go over the sequels and claim my point. Shrek became a monster hit when it came out, and it came out at the right time, at the right place. And honestly, I do love the movie. And let me tell you something, the sequel was actually deserved. And guess what? We actually got what we wanted. And this sequel can be debatably better than the first film. Keyword debatably better. And honestly, I think that it is better than the first film. And honestly, I kind of do wish that I got a Blu-ray copy of it, but I got a DVD instead, so better than nothing. Anyways, since DreamWorks wanted to keep the popularity of Shrek going, they decided to go with a third film. Shrek the Third is a disappointment. A major disappointment. Like, it's bad. Disappointingly bad. I bet I liked it back then, but if I ever do get to rewatch it, I think it will not age well. Sure, it made a lot of money at the box office, but that's not saying much. Of course, all good things must come to an end. And even though Shrek 5 is still in the works, we still got Shrek Forever After. And it was a great conclusion. Well, actually, scratch that. It was an okay conclusion. It did end up the franchise on a good note. Not the best note, but it was a note that we say it's better than the third film. And yes, I know Shrek 5 is happening, but there's no confirmation on that. So, yeah, the Shrek franchise, well, 2.5 films out of 4 isn't that bad, right? But in all seriousness, Shrek really was a film that caused a sequel's avalanche. But it was not only DreamWorks' only franchise. There was another one released back in 2005. Back in 2005, DreamWorks released this little film called Madagascar. And it's one of those films that I say, at first you don't like it, but after a while it grows on you. And I like this film. And the film is actually very good. However, since it surpassed Shrek, let me prove it to you. See this video right here? See how Shark Tale is below Shrek, yet Madagascar past Shrek? If the film passed Shrek, then that means that film can get a sequel. And that's exactly what happened to Madagascar. Madagascar Escape to Africa, or Madagascar 2 as I like to say it, is fun. And I like it. And I really do think that it is similar to Shrek 2. It is debatably better than the first film. However, unlike Shrek 2, I think this is better than the first film. Better animation, better, well, it has more memorable characters, and the story is actually well written. However, like with Shrek, it wants to do more. So we got a third film of Madagascar. Madagascar 3 takes place in a circus. It was a long time of seeing this, but actually seeing this is actually very good. But I do think this is the weakest film of the sequel, even though Alex did have a most attractive love interest. Next series. I'm skipping Kung Fu Panda right now and go straight to How to Train Your Dragon. And let me tell you, to How to Train Your Dragon, the film barely surpassed Shrek. It barely surpassed it. Want proof? I'll give you proof. Notice how Monsters vs. Aliens failed to surpass Shrek, but How to Train Your Dragon does? By a few more dollars at the box office, How to Train Your Dragon barely surpassed Shrek. And thankfully, we got a franchise. I really love the first film. Like, I didn't watch it as a kid. Well, I didn't enjoy it as a kid because it just wasn't meant for me. But as an adult, I absolutely love it. No joke, I really do. I love it so much that DreamWorks actually decided to make a sequel on it. And it's still good. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a good follow-up to the first film. And despite releasing at DreamWorks' worst year, which it was sandwiched between two box office bombs, though I did forget to mention Penguins of Madagascar, but that's besides the point. And I like it, but they feel like How to Train Your Dragon should join like with the other films, with a third film. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is a final chapter of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Most people say it's the best ending of them all. To that I say, I haven't watched it, so no comment. Anyways, why don't go to the next series that released around the 2010s. I have forgotten this when I'm talking about Shrek, but Puss in Boots is a fun film. Though, did it need a sequel? No, but when they did release a sequel, which is 11 years later, the wait was surprisingly worth it. It actually proves that it's actually better than the first film. In fact, this film is so good, it got nominated for an Oscar. Wait, hold on a sec. Turns out Puss in Boots did get nominated for an Oscar. Not for the sequel, but the first film as well. Anyways, you know something? Maybe this sounds a bit harsh, but maybe Puss in Boots might be better than the Shrek franchise. I don't think it's the right thing to say it, but I think it's probably true. Moving on to the next franchise, The Croods managed to surpass Shrek, and say with me, it deserved to have a sequel. Anyways, it did get a sequel at the worst time ever. I saw the first few minutes of Croods' New Age, and I haven't watched through all the film, so no comment. But if I had to take people's word for it, I heard that the film is weaker than the first one. Yeah. Anyways, let's go on to another film that should not become a franchise. The Boss Baby. I'm gonna be honest. When I first watched it in theaters, I actually liked it. But when time goes on, this film will age like milk. Or better yet, it'll age like a dirty diaper. Seriously, people. Why did you watch this in theaters? Why do we let this happen? Why do we let this baby to have a sequel? I don't understand why we let this happen. This film did not age very well. That's all I can tell you. It didn't age well, and I don't think it will become a timeless phenomenon. And yet, you know what the sad part is? When you see these films down here, after mentioning Megamind, the main subject of our video, Over the Hedge, Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens, and even a memeless B-movie, even though they made money at the box office, they did not surpass Shrek, and that's sad. And you know what's even sadder? The Boss Baby made more money than Shrek. Therefore, it surpassed Shrek. We did this. We did this. We did this. Plus, to add more insult to the wound, The Boss Baby got nominated for an Oscar. It could be fine if they just didn't shove in a potential sequel, but guess what? They did. I'm going to be honest. This film should have never been made. It should have never been made. I know I might be harsh on this, but I kind of do wish that Captain Underpants got a sequel over this. I mean, it's fine, but it would have been better if it was just a standalone movie and nothing else, nothing less. And I know I might be saying harsh, but this is one of those films that it should have never been made. I know I might be repeating myself, but I am autistic, but please excuse that. But seriously, this film should have never been made. I'm sorry for people who actually like it, but why do we let this happen? Why did we let this happen? And then the film that I promised to check into, even though we skipped it. Kung Fu Panda 2. Oh, we're not there yet. The original Kung Fu Panda. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. The sequel is well deserved. If people love it, give them more. And it is a shame that it did not win an Oscar, but oh boy, it did win a lot of Annies. It really did. And rightfully so. Since it did surpass Shrek at the box office, a sequel was absolutely warranted. Kung Fu Panda later got a sequel, which is absolutely amazing. Totally love it. Totally love it. Debatably might be best in the series, but again, love the first. The second one is still good. Kung Fu Panda 3. Yeah, remember Kung Fu Panda released in the month of January back in 2016? Released with another abomination called Norm of the North? Yeah, good times. Anyways, I haven't watched it in a while, but I think I do remember that it was a good conclusion, that it really didn't need to continue. However, it later did get continued. Due to the success of Toy Story 4, which I will talk about in a later video if I get the opportunity. Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to be releasing in March of 2008, March 8th of this year, 2024. And I personally do think that I hope that this is a good film. I am very doubtful that if it will ever come out alive, but I will see it in theaters to see if the wait was worth it. And on a little side notes, well, two side notes. Generator is coming to theaters on February 9th, don't miss it. Please make Zen a meet and greet character. I'll explain more about this in later detail in, again, another video. Please, if you're going to promote Kung Fu Panda 4 in Universal Studios, please make Zen meetable. On to the last franchise, and the most important one, that'll talk about how Megamind's sequel, well-deserved, but not wanted. Trolls is an animated film that is cool and hip with the cool kids. Well, it's fine, but let me tell you something that really, even though Megamind, we deserve better from Megamind, there's a reason why other films like Over the Head should deserve a sequel, because Trolls released at a time where DreamWorks was at their lowest. Ever since PDI has sadly been shut down, DreamWorks had to rely on releasing new franchises. And since Trolls made a lot of money, sadly didn't surpass Shrek according to that chart, it actually got a sequel. It actually got a sequel. Well, two sequels. The first one was Trolls World Tour. You should probably remember this, but this is DreamWorks' first ever film that ever skips theaters. And it still holds as the only as the then only DreamWorks film that did not make money at the box office and never got a cinema score. Let that sink in. However, I actually like it, and debatably, like with the other ones, say with me, it's better than the first film. But is it good overall? No, but there are better stuff out there. But if you actually want a Trolls movie that actually accept who you are because you're different, no matter how happy or sad, this is for you. And then we lead to the latest film of the Trolls franchise and DreamWorks' latest theatrical release movie, Trolls Band Together. And do you think Trolls is trying to overstay its welcome? I don't see it, but if Trolls ever does get a fourth film, then yeah, it's starting to overstay its welcome. But I'm not complaining. I haven't seen it, so no comment. A lot of people fell in love with Velvet and Vladimir. I'm sorry if I ever mispronounce your names, but please keep in mind I haven't watched the film. I bet that it might be the best film of the franchise or not. Either way, it really depends. So, because of the Trolls franchise not making much, Megamind finally got a sequel. But what about the other films that deserve a sequel? Well, I don't know if I'm right or not, but Shark Tale was actually one of those very films that was supposed to get a sequel, but did not surpass Shrek, so that didn't happen. And honestly, it might be a blessing. Here's another film that should have gotten a sequel: Over the Hedge. In fact, I asked someone on Twitter that asked if they would like a sequel from Over the Hedge, and one of the creators of Over the Hedge actually follows me. I'm actually being serious. He did follow me. In fact, since DreamWorks is now owned by Universal, an Over the Hedge sequel might be under consideration. There's a chance that it might happen. Here's another one. Monsters vs. Aliens was supposed to get a sequel, but it didn't surpass Shrek. However, but it did get a TV series. It's better than nothing, but again, something. Meme. B-movie is a meme. A sequel is nothing but a meme. Because a B-movie 2 was thought up by Jerry Seinfeld, people made a lot of memes about B-movie. So B-movie is a meme. Rise of the Guardians, one of DreamWorks' most underrated films out there because it bombed at the box office. I think a series should be held, but don't be more like Megamind. Anything but that. Please don't ruin this. Just don't ruin the reputation of Rise of the Guardians. Home, the film that it almost saved DreamWorks, but it didn't surpass Shrek. But hey, if Trolls can get a sequel, why not this? Sure, it's maybe a mixed bag, but yeah. I forgot to mention Penguins of Madagascar, but I like it. It's fun. No comment. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Seriously, why do we let the Boss Baby happen? Why didn't we see this in theaters? We could have seen it in theaters and absolutely loved it. This film is actually better than The Boss Baby. And yet, how is it that this film, this foul, well, it doesn't have any foul language, but this dirty film will fill nothing but toilet jokes. How come this film did not get a sequel? This doesn't make any sense. The Bad Guys, it got a Christmas special, so a sequel might be put under consideration. Though I kind of do wish the characters from The Bad Guys will be seen at Universal's theme parks, but I'm getting too ahead of myself for theme park characters. And Ruby Gillman, Pixar's latest, DreamWorks' latest bomb, and yet maybe that film should get a sequel. What does this have to do with Megamind? Well, the point is, I know I got a little off topic, but the point is, a sequel for Megamind is truly deserved, but only if it was put in good use. The problem with with the drummer from Megamind, the Doom Syndicate, is that they just put a good idea and actually made a bad use of it. They actually waste a potentially good idea and make it and turn that into waste. So the point is, I know I'm repeating myself, but overall, I personally do think that we should have a proper Megamind sequel from DreamWorks, because if we actually have to actually help ourselves to actually create this world that goes right for us, then it might happen. I think I. Anyways, the point is, Megamind deserve a proper sequel from DreamWorks, and this is not it.